make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
I'm scared, Dad.
Do you trust me, son?
Yes.
Come on, son. Rule number 1, never trust anybody.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, coming to you 250 miles above your imagination from the International Fake Station. I'm up here in this IT nightmare with my good friend and co-host, Something Wong, who is here to pack the bong and make sure that we go fly straight and level across this beautiful plane of ours when we're bringing you all this fun and information on the Sovereign Soul channel, where we have literally just about lost our minds. Right?
I remember when I lost my mind.
I'm joined by the Cookie Monster Ryan and Richard Lidwill. I guess that's his elite name. That's his. He wants to talk like he's from. You're muted, Ryan and Roger. All of you, both of you are muted.
His name is Rigger now, like rigor mortis.
Rigger.
Yep.
Rigger. Wouldn't that be
I was
2
handed that
G's?
name.
Might be.
Wouldn't that
Yeah, it would be.
No.
Yeah, that would be 2 G. Yeah, that would be 2 G's.
Well, we don't want anybody to get the wrong idea, though.
It's Riger.
No, it's Riger.
Yeah, no, it's Riger. It's Riger. It has to be, because in order for a vowel to have the short sound, it's usually followed by 2 consonants, 2 soft consonants,
Yes.
like that. So if it's
Yeah,
only
so it's
one,
like a
then
tiger,
it's
but a
the wrong
Riger.
time. Mm-hmm. That's right, like the country
And I came
Niger.
up with a good one.
I thought Tigger was great.
Yeah, there you go.
Tigers are wonderful things. I've heard that.
A wonderful
I-
thing.
They bounce on springs. Yeah.
They bounce on springs. They're wonderful things. Look at all these people we got in here. I got Call Forward Zeros here with us tonight. Tinfoil 72. Got Greg Braden's with us tonight. We got Saddle Bomb. What's happening? We got Truth Troll. Jehovah's lovely daughter Barbara. In Rems with us. Tony Coriolis. Don Coriolis. Don Coriolis. Like the Godfather. That'll work. Chicago Gummy Bear. We got Tinfoil. Let's see. Tinfoil 72. Sean Alkey's with us, having a good time up there in Canada. And we love it. Twilight Nights with us. Brad and Tasha. Barry Ross. We got a bunch of good people here with us. And more coming in. There's Half Warrior. I hope the other half comes. In Rem, I think I'm getting most everybody here so far. Hey, there's a guy named Ryan S. is in there somewhere too.
Nice.
Character. That guy's a character. He's just what a goof bean, right? Eldon Bean is here. Here's Matt Prince wanting to come up. Oh my God.
Nice.
I'll get a little bit of an echo
I'm
out
gonna
here
step
and
out
there,
for a little
Matt.
bit, guys.
All right.
I'll step back in a little bit.
All right, man. Live. He's got that thing from Live, the album cover as his avatar. I was just playing a song by them on my guitar earlier. What's the name of that one? It goes, and to love a God and to fear a flame. I don't remember. Anyways, it's been 20 years. Better than 20 years. Yeah, it's been quite a while. So how's Matt doing tonight, Matt? Well, all right. That rocks. You're muted, Matt, if you didn't know. Or maybe you're not. Or you are. There, now you're not.
No. I was switching my mic around.
Ah, well, don't twist it too hard. You'll break it. You got to be careful with these things. They're delicate technographical instruments and shit.
Yeah.
So have you, either of you seen the latest update on the golden ticket for the final PSYOP or the free PSYOP or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, sort of.
You see it? It's only a 6.5 minute video. It's only a 6.5 minute video.
I'm sure it's hilarious though.
I was unaware that there's so many people out there just freely willing to donate, 5 digits worth of money, Just, what the hell? Just somebody I don't, right?
If you
Right.
want to waste your money, I can waste it all over the place. Trust me.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I don't believe that Ferraris are real. So buy me one, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
prove it to me. Prove it to
Yeah,
me.
prove that it's
Just
real.
so I can
Buy
see
me
it.
one.
Right.
Good Lord. That's pretty much the shit that comes along with that. But I was kind of dissecting this. I watched this a couple of times, just kind of like, I pick up different shit when I watch something a couple of times. I pick up shit that, I go, oh, wait a minute, hold on, right? So there's a few things in this that I noticed. Let me see where I got. There he is. He's smiling Bob. There we go.
Super exciting update today. Lisbeth Acosta's real golden ticket has been found. By the way, I've been mispronouncing her name. So sorry about that, Lise. Please forgive me. I was actually called the wrong name growing up, and I was too introverted to say anything.
Okay, so I find it hard to believe that he was introverted, first of all. And second of all, how could somebody call you by the wrong name? How could Will Duffy be mispronounced? Doofy? Doofy? Weil? Did somebody say, is your name Weil Doofy? Or people did this all the time. He said people did this all the time. Listen to how he says that. He says, people did this to me all the time.
Wrong name growing up, and I was too introverted to say anything. So people just kept calling me the wrong name. And so I make it a point.
I want to know what the wrong name was.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I mean, I'm just curious. I'm curious. Dilliam Duffy. Yeah, there you go, Tony. Yeah, it's just I'm making myself so I'm just as relatable and I'm as susceptible to those kind of mistakes as anybody else. Blah, 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 blah. Sales technique.
Point to call people by the right name and to pronounce it correctly as well. Okay, first, an update and the backstory. I was contacted by someone who wanted to sponsor a flat earther to go to Antarctica with TFE. And to put you in my frame of mind, I already had many people contact me offering to sponsor flat earthers.
He'd already had many people contact him wanting to sponsor flat earthers. He'd already had a bunch. So prior to getting this scam email, he'd already had several offers on the table from people. And as he's about to say, people not only that he knows, but even a friend of his, people of reputation. Listen to this.
And all of those had checked out and were legitimate benefactors. One of them was someone who's very well known. Another one was a friend of mine. And another one was Mark Harmon, who I had conversations with to make sure he knew the costs associated with sponsoring someone and was willing to spend that amount of money.
Okay. So that's 4 that he's mentioned. 1 at least by name, that had already offered prior to him even getting this email to set up this thing to have 10 people, 10 contestants that he get to, peel them off, give each one a rose so that, like on the Bachelorette or some shit, right? So you got down to the last one who wins. Okay. If you already had all these offers, why didn't you already run this using them? Or even at the most, get them all together and say, hey, why don't you all do like, a quarter of the cost, or something, right? This is what's so fucking stupid about that whole thing, is because, wait a second, you already had people by your own admission that had volunteered to sponsor a flat earther to go. You already had 4 people. You vetted them by your own admission. You vetted them. They were good to go. Then you went ahead and did this. And then the next day you go, oh, guess what I found out? So we're going to have to start a GoFundMe. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Right.
So when this offer came into my inbox, I already had a history of generosity, and I didn't think that it might be a scam. With that said, I still communicated with them and verified that they were willing to cover the entire cost of the trip. Now, a lot of people have been asking me why I didn't collect the funds from them up front.
That's not what we're asking. I never asked you that at all. I've never heard anybody. What we wondered was, why did you not verify that the funds indeed existed? Come on, you're a financial guy. Even some kind of a written agreement that you would run this contest and then put somebody put the money into escrow, and then I'll run the contest, right? Because it was, as the emails thing was their idea to run the contest, I guess, right? And Duffy was the one that got to pick who got to go or not, right?
Yeah, every business is supposed to have a plan, not after.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, some guy comes up, he's standing down there in front of the Brooklyn Bridge and says, hey, you want to buy this bridge? I obviously own it. I'm standing right here on it. And you go, yeah, sure. How much? You don't go, okay, well, can I see the deed to this bridge? Can I see some verification that you actually own it before I try to buy it? Right? You don't operate that way, man, like he's doing. Nobody does. Oh, it's just my good nature and my generosity. Kiss my ass. You're a money guy. Forget that.
Show us your generosity. Donate all the money that you gain. Just get a whole bunch of money, whatever money you gain, and then give it away to the people in your neighborhood, like homeless people or something. That would really make you look good. Otherwise, I don't see how you're going to get out of this, brother.
Well, I'm just saying, this is just like, there's more behind this than meets the eye, and what they're painting up to be what is not what it is. This whole thing right here with this golden ticket and this whole thing is just so suspect. And the more he explains, the more the story doesn't jive, and that's what I always watch. The devil's in the detail. So you mean to tell me you had all these people willing to sponsor a flat earther, and then went ahead with this contest after already having that, but getting an email from somebody else. And then you set up this contest and go through this little drama thing and get this girl all excited, or at least have her act like she was excited. And then, oh, guess what? The ticket's no good. The guy lied to us and shit, Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't real. But these other ones, you've already verified that they're good to go. The money's there and everything. You didn't bother with any of that, just saying, okay, oh, well, hey, listen, remember you offered this? Are you ready to step up the bat? I got scammed by an email. You got the opportunity to be the hero. No, that ain't what see.
Here's why. When someone offers to sponsor someone, say Eric Dubé, I have to make a video announcing that someone has offered to pay for Eric Dubé's trip to Antarctica. Then I need to contact Eric to make sure he is aware of the offer and then hope to get a response. The process is not easy. And assuming Eric Dubé accepts, spoiler alert, he did not accept, that begins the application process with Antarctic Logistics and Expeditions. And in addition to the application, you actually have to be medically cleared to travel to Antarctica. Remember, there are no
He makes it sound like
that's the problem.
He makes it sound like, oh, you have to be medically cleared, like you have to go and go to have a physical or some shit like that. It ain't that at all. You fill out a questionnaire. You fill out a fucking questionnaire. Shut up, Duffy. You fill out a questionnaire. Have you ever had a heart attack? Yes or no? If so, how far long ago was it? Do you have a history of diabetes? Are you on any medication? Standard freaking health questions, okay? It's just a questionnaire. It's not, oh, you have to be okayed medically. Yeah, technically, yeah, but come on. Nobody's verifying shit. All right, Duff? God, this guy.
hospitals or emergency rooms or urgent care locations in Antarctica. So if you have a medical emergency while there, you actually have to be flown back to Chile, which is a 4 or 5 hour flight.
Better not take anybody that had the jab, though. They might have a coincidence while they're down there. You know, that's.
What if somebody has flaming diarrhea? What happens then?
I don't know,
like what? I don't know, dude. You just think about this. What, you're going to get sent back now, or what?
The only thing standing between you and a $5 million fine for blowing shit all over the snow is your
gotta clean it up after yourself.
Tensile strength of your sphincter muscles. That's it. That's it. That's the difference between a $5 million fine and not. Is your sphincter.
You need an insurance policy just to get on the plane.
Really? Would you like to buy some diarrhea insurance? What? Yeah. You shit on a penguin, you get the death penalty. That's all there is to it.
Turtle poking his head out gets you a really hefty fine.
Yeah. You can't be doing that. We advocate sphincter. That's one of the questions on there. Do you have a tight sphincter?
So if you have a history of heart attacks, for example, they may not medically clear you to travel, as that would be considered a risk they may not want to take. But once you are medically cleared, then payment is due. And that is when I would go back to the benefactor and have them send funds directly to ALE. As I've said before, traveling to Antarctica is not the easiest thing to do. It's expensive and there is a multi-step process. Now, the flat earth side will say that the complicated process is due to the governments of the world hiding the fact that we don't live on a globe, and maybe that's the case. But the globe side will say that this complicated process is due to the fact that they don't want you to die since you are visiting one of the harshest climates and most desolate regions on Earth. Maybe that.
Wait a second. So you hear this. This is one of the most desolate and harsh climates on Earth.
Don't die.
Yet he's selling it like it's a free trip, like it's a free trip to fucking misery and shit, But in any case, it's like we understand that. And all it is a questionnaire. Quit trying to make it out like it's some kind of a big, huge, they're contacting Johns Hopkins University. And
he's trying to make it sound like as if he had to choose who he chose because no one else was worthy, right? Or yeah, that's kind of the way he's making it sound, right?
Well, it's that he's making it sound like it's more complicated than it actually is. Let's face it. If you got the money and you fill out the forms, they're going to let you go. It's a tourism company. Okay. That's all there is to it. And I'll bet you if you went through a travel agent, you could probably get it cheaper.
I'm a travel agent.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just, there's just too much about this.
That's the case. Now, some people have also been asking me how I know it was a flat earther who scammed me. Well, the guy who duped me seemingly was not okay with everyone talking about what he did without him getting any credit for it. So he went on Flatzoid's channel last week and outed himself. MC Toon did a video showing who he is, what names he's used in the past, and this flat earther has actually debated MC Toon in the past and showed his face. So you can watch those if you would like. But
now, I'm not familiar with the guy at all. I've never heard of him. Jaron said he's on his Discord or some shit like that. And I'm wondering if he's not another one of these Globers, part of the opposition that's out there posing like they're a flat earther, you know. I mean, we've seen that before. I've seen Toon have these flat earthers come out of nowhere that he's debating, so that, you know, basically you're putting up fake flat earthers to beat up. What's going on there, Faceplant? I just thought of something, man. Face plant, a face plant. Is that a plant that has like faces on it, or is it like a big factory that manufactures faces?
This is something that happened to me.
Right? I work down at the face plant. I'm in the nose department, and
something weird happened to me in my yard. I was on a ladder cutting a big branch off a cherry tree with a reciprocating saw. And when the branch started to break, it pulled me down.
Oh.
And I did a face plant with that fucking saw running, and it just clipped my nose. I didn't get hurt, but my face planted right into the ground, and it's like I kept going, and I saw the underworld realm for a second. It's like my spirit kept going. I didn't get hurt. It was so weird.
It went through the floor and your body stayed there.
Yeah, I know, it's like something like that will be like in slow motion too. I remember one time I
got up and I was laughing hysterically because I didn't get hurt, and it was it's like my hair was standing up. I had goosebumps, and I was just
got lucky with what you did. You got lucky.
That's how it happened with me, man. I was building a house, right? And we were on the second floor, and I was inside on the second floor. And what I was doing in there is I was cutting 2x6s to whatever the call outs were, and they were putting them up, using them as gutter boards along the edge of the rafters, right? So I went over to the window to pull up a couple more 16-foot boards to cut. And I put a couple of them, pulled them up, put them up on my shoulder, started walking across the floor, and totally didn't know. I don't know why I didn't even think about it. I was going over to this hack of plywood I was using to put the things on and cut. And I just walked right into the stair hole, man. There were no stairs yet, right? Just a ladder. And I just walked right into the stair hole. And of course, the boards, they stayed up there. My arm let loose of it. But I swear to God, I could remember every rung of the ladder going by as I dropped to the ground. I hit the floor right like on my butt, kind of, and I bounced a little bit. And then my hand came down and rested on the floor right at the edge of the hole to go into the basement. I mean, I missed going down through 2 floors like that far. And I'm staring, and then I looked up, and the next thing I know, there's all these dudes are looking over the hole of the stair hole, looking down at me, and they're like, "Dude, are you all right?" And I says, "I think so. I don't feel any pain or anything. I hope nothing's broke. What the hell?" And I didn't. The only thing I had was a little bruise on my ass from where I landed on my hammer. I had it hanging.
So many things have happened to me where I should have been killed 100 times, like on job sites, doing stupid shit. And it's like somebody's taking care of us.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah. Well, let's see. We got about like 2.5 minutes left of this, dude.
just so many things
But-
could happen.
Yeah, man.
I'd rather switch and talk about the good news.
Oh, yes.
We
Good news.
started a GoFundMe for Lise, and it's been doing so great. We've had over 125 donations and raised over $6,500. Well, yesterday, I was contacted by someone who offered to pay for Lisbeth's entire trip with ALE.
Oh, this is another person. He already named off 4 people that had offered already. Why didn't he even go to those people and say, hey, you know, remember when you offered? So it's another one. What's going to be up with this one?
To be clear, the trip with ALE does not cover other things like flights to and from Chile, the hotel in Chile, the required gear for being in Antarctica. So with this offer to pay for the trip with ALE, combined with the funds raised so far on GoFundMe, this should cover almost all of the expenses for Lise. Now, of course, I'm gun shy after being duped. And my first thought when I got this email,
you could go ahead and not be gun shy. You said you already had 4 other people, right? Somebody named Mark Harmon.
Once bitten, twice shy, buddy.
Okay. Now he mentions this guy's name is John Bolton. And the only John Bolton I know is that Warhawk with the huge mustache you see on the news. So if it's him, I'm going to be.
Email was, is this another hoax?
Yeah.
But this time he left me his phone number and his name, John Bolton. So I called him. We had a good conversation, and John Bolton was the real deal. Now, Lise had already filled out her application with ALE, and she was medically approved. So John Bolton.
See? Okay, this just happened the other day. She just won the other day. Yesterday, he told us it was a scam. And then now today we got this. Right? Okay, wait a second. So you mean from the time she won till now, she's already been medically approved. So this big arduous thing about having to be medically approved was just filler when you were saying about it, right? Because obviously there's nothing to it. Obviously. It's not like she had to go take a physical and all this other dumb shit, right? Come on. Filled out a medical questionnaire. You made it out like you have to be medically cleared because of this, that, and the other. What's that got to do with the price of anything? What's that got to do with anything? What? Come on.
Bolton was able to wire the funds, which he did. So, John Bolton, thank you so much for doing this. And again, to the 125 plus donors, thank you as well. Together, you all made this possible. But more importantly, this was made right for Lise. So the real golden ticket has been found, and Lisbeth Acosta.
I would have grabbed a different thing because look at her ring light is making it look like she got fucking crazy eyes, ain't it? Look at that. Her ring light is reflecting in both lenses of her glasses, and it's making her look like she's got her eyes are popping out of her head or something. That's nuts, man.
Is officially Antarctica bound. And there's not much that would make me happier at the moment. This Friday, we are going to go live with Lise so you can get to know her more. You'll hear her story of how she got into flat Earth and how she made a friend at NASA of all places and how she's actually been doing her own experiments. So stay tuned for that on Friday. And also this week, 2 more flat earthers have declined coming to Antarctica with us. So I will update everyone on who they are, but more importantly, why they will not come to Antarctica. Talk soon.
Well, that should be a gem.
What's still bugging me about this is they haven't specified where in Antarctica they're supposed to be flying to. Is it
Yeah, they have Union Glacier.
McMurdo Base by the Ross Sea, or
Union
like
Glacier.
Union?
Yeah.
Say that again.
Union Glacier Camp.
Union Camp.
Union Glacier Camp.
Oh. And I always like how Antarctica, the map is shaped like your brain, so you think it's real.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? I thought that myself. I was like, God, that does look like a human brain.
Have you ever seen, if you look on Google Maps at the Ross Sea, it's like the international date line. It goes all crazy in a really jagged pattern, like it's correcting the map from a globe to a flat map, and it doesn't make any sense how they've got that jagged line by the Ross Sea
Mm-hmm.
on Google
Well,
Maps.
I think what I find more interesting in Antarctica recently is these tracking of ships so far into the continent. Supposedly, if it were a continent, that they'd be like one of them I think I saw was 900 miles inside of Antarctica.
Yeah, and Captain Cook's chart of his route around, supposed route around the continent, where it goes 24,000 miles or something like that. But he's supposed to be going clockwise around, but it's going like a spiral he's supposed to be going counterclockwise, but his chart is going in a spiral clockwise, the chart. So, like he thinks he's going around this way, but he's actually going the other way. Captain Cook's
Oh, yeah. Well, even beyond that, I think that somebody came out with the idea the other day, and I've heard of it before, is to have two planes take off from the same part of Antarctica and go opposite directions, following the coast, and see how long it takes till they meet. See how far they go before they meet. That would be a great one. So I don't know. I just found this thing something. It said it's not baby oil. People are going on this whole thing. This again, seeing a lot of shit coming out. A lot of stuff is coming out. I hope a lot of people are really paying attention to what's going on. How this psyop is really blowing up in their face, man. Not just
the timing of everything is suspect, because they've had this footage, they've got all this info just stockpiled just to bring it at the right moment, whatever it is, like politicians and entertainers and royalties, connections to Epstein. All this fucking information is stockpiled just to bring it out at the right time as a distraction.
Yeah, I have to wonder. I'm going to show you a thing that Putin said in an interview that was kind of like, wait a second, I know that's not a turn of phrase. It was pretty blatant. It was pretty blatant, and it didn't sound like a turn of phrase, like just some kind of a simile or some shit.
Have you heard of the young global shapers in the thing with the World Economic Forum and the UN?
Oh yeah, listen, I am not interested in a thing that they've got going on. Mike Smith said there's something stinks with his story, and it's in reference to Duffy. Yeah, everything. That's why my radar went up on it. I'm like, wait a second, and I listen to what he's saying and I dissect it. I go, okay, let's run this through the logic factors real quick. Let's just run this through the logic filters. You already have all these benefactors that have already come out and said they're willing to fund somebody, right? But then you get this email from another guy and it turns out to be a scam. And you're like, oh, darn hell, we're just going to have to do a GoFundMe. Well, what happened to these other benefactors that were willing to do that? Where'd they go? What? And so then it wasn't until this other guy, John Bolton, who just happens to have the same name as a former NSA director, is willing to pay for it. And they're going to use the GoFundMe shit to pay for her gear and her flights. Yeah, there's something weird about that. And this, I don't know what this was. I haven't even seen this here yet.
It's more than weird.
GHB. Who has 1,000 bottles of baby oil? If baby oil was such a big part of all these parties and all the things that Diddy did to his victims, some celebrities would have made a joke about it here and there. We would have heard about it. Especially Chrissy Teigen couldn't be paid to shut her mouth. That bitch would have cracked a joke about it, for sure. I just watched this man's TikTok about how it's not a baby oil. It has to be laced with drugs. So as I'm reading the comments, someone said, that's why Jaguar Wright said in one of her interviews at the end, she said, blink twice. Blink Twice was a movie with Channing Tatum. He would spray perfume onto women who would make them forget everything. So then somebody else in the comments said, yeah, and GHB is slippery. So I look up, what is it called on the street? Look at the last one, liquid ecstasy. Side effects that include seizures and comas. It was taken off the shelves or something in like the 60s. What is GHB used for in bodybuilding? Performance enhancement additive. What are the positive side effects of GHB? Feelings of euphoria. What is GHB for parents? Usually available as a clear liquid. It's not baby oil. It just makes sense because why would the feds confiscate fucking baby oil? And how do you get so many people to comply besides money? You drug them.
So what if they was using, I wonder if it's able to be absorbed through the skin.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. All they have to do is there's a chemical. I forget what it's called, but it's like 3 letters, but it's a chemical you put on anything and it'll make it soak through your skin.
Huh.
Or Diddy's just sponsored by Johnson and Johnson and it's just free advertising.
Or they're trying to get a contract, something like that.
This P. Diddy concert sponsored by Johnson and Johnson baby oil. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird, especially when they already had lube, for the sexual acts. What's the baby oil? You're roboting on us again, Faceplant.
Johnson on Johnson.
Yeah. So here's said Ice Cube was at the what is the Metropolitan? Is that what that is? Yeah, in Las Vegas here, and people are mouthing, man. Listen to this.
You ain't gotta worry about us on them motherfucking tapes. Now check this shit out. For anybody in here that has, I got one thing to say to your ass. What, dude? I got one thing to say to your ass. If you've ever been to one of those parts, what the fuck you got to say? Boys or girls, you better check yourself before you check yourself. Just go to the girl, to the girl. Everybody go girl, but just go girl. Everybody get down with the whole night. You go party, say, oh yeah. You better check yourself before you check yourself.
Pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So this, let's see. Mayor Eric Adams was recently raided, Southern District, New York. Eric Adams, he's the mayor of what?
He got rated. What did he get rated at? Like what? A 49? Just kidding.
No, he let me see. It's I don't know. This is what this guy's saying. He's this guy's talking about there's politicians that are involved in these tapes too. That's what I'm saying, man. Maybe he recorded somebody that was just too powerful. But you know, nobody's buying like all the Epstein bullshit. Let's not forget we still haven't a client list. We still haven't seen any action taken on any of that shit, right? So what makes people think this is going to be any different? You know, that's what I have to wonder. What makes people think this is going to be any different than that? You know, because maybe you know more of the names involved because we're celebrity culture, you know? Let's see. This guy says he reveals politicians are in Diddy's freak off tapes. The art of dialogue.
Yeah, that's crazy. But the feds, they also revealed that they got photos and videos of Diddy freak-offs.
When they did that raid, you understand? What they did was prior to the raid, they reviewed that civil lawsuit. And that civil lawsuit told Cassie's civil lawsuit was LeRod had already did it. LeRod hadn't did his yet, did he? Did LeRod do his lawsuit before the raid or after the raid?
Oh, before.
Yeah. So what they did was they reviewed both of those civil lawsuits and found that there was some criminal activity in those lawsuits.
See, and that's the thing too. It's just like with these arbitrations that we see Duffy going through, that they go to arbitration. Even though we're seeing stuff in there about violations of federal laws, because it's civil, it doesn't get the criminal court attention. So in these civil suits, things that were brought up in these civil suits that were criminal are not used as criminal. The only thing that can be done then is that testimony used as an investigation into a criminal case
to get money in the civil suit.
Right. In the civil suits, usually it's punitive damages.
Whatever the result's going to be, it's going to be perceived somehow as racist.
Oh yeah, well yeah, they always got to run that. But they didn't run the J card with Epstein. So why would they run the N card with Diddy? I mean, let's face it, he's hung out with some very powerful and influential people. Got pictures of him multiple times hanging out with Donald Trump and his wife, hanging out with Obama, his husband, hanging out with Bill and Hillary. What?
How long did it take R. Kelly to go to jail once proceedings started?
Didn't take long.
Didn't take long.
No. It was too much in the public eye. This one too. But
Now
they're
look
still
at
doing
Weinstein.
investigations too. They're still
The answer to that is they settled. Gary.
We spoke that on Art of Dialogue. We spoke about that on your show. I said if they really wanted him, all they had to do was review those civil lawsuits. And once they find the criminal activity in those, they could bring them in. Now, did the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Miami do it? No, they didn't. Did California do it? No, they did not. The Southern District of New York, they took it upon themselves and put on that raid and everything based on the information they found in Cassie lawsuit and the information they found in Little Rod lawsuit.
And dude, there's some nasty shit in that Cassie lawsuit, man. There's some nasty shit in there, man. They was, I mean, right straight up gross, nasty shit.
I don't know if I want to even hear it.
Yeah, it's bad.
I just heard on the
All this
radio
is
there.
bigger than Diddy.
What?
I just heard on the radio this morning. I listened to North Dakota AM radio, and they said that there's video from 2011 of her getting viciously raped.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. This guy's been at this shit for 30 years now. The diddler. Yeah, right. That's appropriate name. And yes, listen, some of this is, and we know that Michelle, Michael, and Barack Obama hanging out with this guy. All these high people, man. Even Lord and Savior Jesus Trump. So you got to be, yeah. None of them are any good, man. None of them.
Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy, bro. Because you know who else they was doing investigation on during that whole time period? It was the mayor and the politicians in New York City. They turn around and give him the key to the city. All the mayor people that he brought on here in New York City are all resigning. They all resigning. People ain't gonna tie this together, but if you look at it, you have to say, because of Mayor Adams and his relationship with Diddy, it brought on the Southern District of New York to start investigating Diddy on civil lawsuits that was put against him. Because the feds is going after all these politicians in New York City.
Yeah, they have been doing that, from what I understand here in the last few weeks. There's a raid on somebody else's house there too. Chief of police. Several, I think the FBI has been doing raids on the chief of police, on the commissioner. I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of it.
High Knights of Malta and Pilgrim Society guy, like he's one evil dude.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys are, man. A lot of these guys, they're in. How does people do that shit and they get away with this stuff for so long, right?
Yeah, the feds revealed that anybody that participated in any criminal behavior at his freak offs, they're gonna pursue.
Listen here. The mayor here take like 15 spoons of sugar in his coffee. So it's all a possibility.
Do you think there's any celebrities on tapes?
Bro, he gave celebrity parties. So what you think? I think they're not telling the whole truth, is that because of the situation in Miami and the situation in California, and they closed the clubs like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. or something like that, that Justin and Christian was bringing big vans of girls and people back to the mansion and giving parties and stuff like that. And a lot of those stuff were their parties. A lot of that shit was their parties. They wasn't always Puff parties. It was his son's parties.
Good point. They said some of these freak offs.
So his sons was in on it and shit too. But when he's talking about Bieber, I think too, going back there,
will last for days.
That's where they're gonna get him on the sex trafficking thing. Especially like if he was traveling and doing it. That's where the sex trafficking come at. That you hiring sex workers to come and have sex with your girl.
What is up with that too, man?
Yeah, why do you need that kind of service?
Why do you want to watch somebody do your girlfriend or your wife or something, man? What's up with that weird shit?
That's what Pornhub's for, dude.
Well, I mean, it's like, what's wrong with your mind? I don't even get
There's
that.
a
man.
lot of people who do that. I worked with people who did that. Had
Wow.
parties and would invite guys over to all fuck their wife, and they
Good
watch.
Lord.
They're
That's horrible.
traumatized. They've been traumatized since children. They've been groomed, born and bred, and groomed their role in this shit. All these fuckers.
God.
But the politicians, the entertainers, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that, man. Listen, there's a
That-
close connection, close tied connection between Hollywood and DC. Absolutely. Has been for quite some time. And let's face it, they're all actors. Both places are full of actors. Oh God, I researched Snopes. What a joke. Yeah, I know. Snopes and some old lady and a
You
cat.
do get crazy without being compromised by participating in some kind of creep shit.
Yeah. Who was saying that? They said I wasn't willing to go in them rooms. I wasn't willing to put that. But we'll be looking at that in a minute. You can only imagine.
That's some Hollywood that I don't even know, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But they also claiming that, Diddy, he'll give ecstasy to his victims to keep them obedient.
Then they have to bring those witnesses in there. That's going to be something hard to prove. Unless Lil Rob or Lil Cat or Cassie state that was something that happened. That's how the prosecutor's going to prove that. They got a ton of evidence that they got to try to prove, bro. A lot of that if you read it, it could be circumstantial. You know what I'm saying? But they got to have witness to back it up. You just can't say that happened based on somebody lawsuit and what the words that they're saying. They have to have witnesses in there. And I think Puff lawyers is going to be smart enough to attack that.
Yeah, but if they got recordings, if they've got video, God knows what's on those videos, right? You'll never know.
Right. And they claiming that Diddy, he was blackmailing his victims because he had videos from old freak offs and he was using those videos to get his victims to do another freak off. So
if he was blackmailing people, especially people that work for him, see, this is what it's going to get him at. See, people think that, those people work for him, or those people, if they was artists and they work for him, or they were engineers, or they anybody that worked for them and stuff like that, your boss cannot blackmail you to do nothing. If you do a sexual act or you doing anything, your boss, if he have you doing those things like that, then he could be liable for suit because you're not doing it willingly because that individual is your boss. So psychologically, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody say, that when somebody has something over you, could determine your job, your career, your livelihood, that's somewhat of a blackmail if they holding stuff that they've done, that you've done in the past, over your head to make you continually doing that stuff. Now, that's where he loses at. Because some of those people work for him, or he was a part of doing something. They was part of doing something for their career with him. That's why he loses that case.
Yeah, for example, Trump would be compromised so that when he became president, he would bring in Operation Warp Speed, because you do this or else you're going to be exposed.
Yeah. I mean, they can make it. They're all blackmailable, every last one of them. And there's people got shit on them. That's why they use them as these puppets. There was a limited series I watched on the Menendez brothers. Do you remember them? Lyle and
I remember them vaguely, yeah.
And they killed their dad, Jose And Kitty Menendez. Okay.
Yeah, he was abusive or whatever.
Okay, well, here's the thing too. Watching this thing, I found out that one of the ways that that guy got all his money, a lot of his money, was that he signed Menudo to a record company. You remember the Latin band Menudo, the boy band?
I remember. I do.
And he was even in a part of the show quoted as saying, if their voice changes and deepens, we get rid of them and get a new one, a younger one. If, you know, they get too big or start to mature, we get rid of them and get a younger one. Now, then I found out that one of the former members of Menudo had alleged that Jose Menendez had molested him as well. Now, this goes right into this whole music industry thing, man. Like with these boy bands and all that shit. And I was like, holy crap, man. And these boys, talk about some psychopaths.
Seems like if you're going to get in Hollywood, you're going to be putting out somewhere or another. Either your kids are or you are, one of the two.
Yeah, it's a very evil, got a really, really bad vibe there. There's a really bad vibe in Hollywood. It's dark. It's dark. And really crazy, man. Like right across, almost like right across the street from the famous Grauman's Chinese Theater, you know, that has the footprints in the pavement and all that, is the big headquarters for the LGBTQRSLMNOP, whatever the fuck thing is right there. I was like, oh my God, man. Right down in the middle of freak heaven. The whole place is just a big freak show. It is. I can't believe people want to aspire to get there and become part of that. And it's so nuts. It's so nuts.
I was telling you about that sheep farm. They have a YouTube channel, but they also have podcasts. Sheep farm podcasts. It's these two brothers from the UK.
Okay.
And
see, let me tell you why I'm skeptical of shit that comes out media-wise. Go ahead. Your microphone
but
keeps
they go
cutting out
through
there.
the. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
They go through the history of all the family connections, right from Darwin, the Huskies, up to the politicians.
Yeah.
That the politicians like Boris Johnson and Tony Blair wars, they groomed when they were children and molested.
A face plant. You're gonna have to try to do something. You're gonna have to do something. You're gonna have to do something with your microphone, man. You keep cutting in and out all over the place. But I got the gist of what you're saying, and here's an interesting thing too. As you were saying, they all go to Eton College. And here's another thing that's interesting. You know what George Orwell was his pen name. You know what his real name was? Eric Blair. Blair? What? You mean like Tony Blair? Yeah, and yes, they are related. Yes, they are related. Ain't that crazy? So if this guy went to those schools and was brought up in those circles, was his 1984 actually a prediction, or was he just laying out or making a story from what was planned? I would say that it was him. All right, he's almost back, but his devices are not connected. I think he might be trying to work on a phone. People using a phone, a lot of times, I know with Chrome, they had an issue with that a while back. I don't know if they still do.
Yeah, I have that problem sometimes when I'm using it too.
When his camera comes back, I've not got a camera or it says device is not connected, faceplant. So that's what I'm seeing of you on there. I was having a problem earlier, man. I couldn't get my computer to boot up right. I mean, all my little icons came up, but the little thing, the bar at the bottom was gone. And it wouldn't connect to my VPN. It wouldn't connect to the internet. I was like, fuck it. I restarted everything. Just completely Really crazy. So anyway, this is another thing with this too. It said, once you understand that once you understand what this whole Weinstein, there he is. Oh, wait, there he is. He's back. Okay. Once you understand what this whole Weinstein, Epstein, and Diddy case is really all about, you'll understand why celebrities are freaking out and deleting their social media posts. Many executives are stepping down from their companies, and it's all about the crimes against the kids. This is only the tip of the iceberg. As more truth comes to light, we will see more people from Hollywood, the music industry, the sports industry. Did you guys see the picture of LeBron wearing the French maid outfit? That was pretty humiliating.
I haven't seen that yet. No.
Seen that? Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm not sure I need to though.
Oh, it's kind of disturbing. Yeah, it really is. So I don't know. Let me see what this guy's got to say on this. It seemed like it would be a kind of an interesting one and not too lengthy. And give me some time to do a couple pressure experiments. You know what I'm saying? Let me do this. Bah, 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 bah.
So everybody wants the core of this whole Diddy thing? I mean, we all know some influential people in Diddy's life, but we haven't got to the core. But we will right now, for entertainment purposes, of course, because I know absolutely nothing. I'm just making this stuff up. To understand this whole thing, you got to think higher up on the food chain. And in order to do that, you have to look here at the Universal Music Group, or UMG. This is the company that signed Taylor Swift, Post Malone, Drake, Ariana Grande, Darius Rucker. The list goes on and on. This company is the reason that Diddy even has a record label. If you saw my other video, this is the company that owns Russell Simmons, Def Jam Records. In fact, the list of companies and people that UMG is involved in is unbelievable. Now, UMG was bought and built by Seagram's, the alcohol company. And like I said, they bought Def Jam Records, and they were also one of the first of the big three to start selling music online.
See, man, it's like Satan's little fingers on every damn thing, man. Everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like the alcohol industry is in on this. This conglomeration buying up all these different record companies and shit. Universal. That was one of the first ones. Universal Movie Studios, even back in the 20s, they had the little globe with the airplane flying around it for their logo, right? And then finally in 1969, 40 some odd years later, they go up into space, and lo and behold, it's exactly like the Universal thing. Exactly, 100%. What's the chances? Well, Ryan dropped off. Everybody's leaving me. Damn. I'm starting to have abandonment issues down here.
All right, now Seagram's was founded by the Brofman family. And if that name doesn't sound familiar, it should. Mainly because of this woman, Claire Brofman.
Yeah.
Who was part of a certain group. Now, Claire wasn't just part of this group. She financed the whole thing. And when I say financed, I mean went to the extent of buying them almost an entire island. Now, this group had some pretty interesting people in it, like Allison Mack from Smallville. But the most interesting person in this whole group was this man, the leader, Keith Raniere. Oh, did I mention they branded their members?
Yeah, remember that with the Allison Mack and that girl from Smallville and all that shit? That was a couple of years back. See, the collective memory forgets, but I'm remembering this now, man. These names coming back out. It's so connected, so connected.
But anyway, Keith here not only hired Epstein and Cosby's lawyer, He's constantly saying he's going to end up just like Epstein. But if you read the details of his court case, why he does that will make sense. Now, during that case, it was discovered that not only were they funneling money to a certain someone, but somehow this group hacked her emails. All right, at the beginning, I showed you a small list of who signed to Universal. And I told you how Claire bought the majority of an island in Fiji for her group. And the funny thing about that is I say she owns the majority. The only other thing on that island is this 5-star all-inclusive hotel. And here's a list of the people that have gone there. Y'all stay safe.
Oh, Robert Zemeckis, Paris Hilton, people. None of those names surprise me, though. Hope they don't surprise you.
So everybody wants the core of this whole Diddy thing?
Stop talking. Let me do something here real quick. All right. Did I fix it? No, not really. I don't know why it's getting blurry like that. Might be smoke. Might be smoke in between me and the thing because I just took a big, huge bong rip. Don't judge. Let me see here. Oh, yeah. Then this goes a lot deeper, too. Kamala Harris. Something about her being, I don't know. Let me see what this is. Oh, wow. Okay. It says here that bombshell WikiLeaks Hunter emails tie Kamala Harris to Pizzagate through her sister, Maya Harris. Okay, so John Podesta was the campaign chair. Maya Harris is the senior policy advisor. Pizza chef James Alifamadis of Comet Ping Pong. Okay, so they were that Maya Harris, Kamala's sister, was a major pizza party speaker for John Podesta and James Alifamadis of Comet Ping Pong. Interesting. In a stunning leak, Kamala Harris was allegedly in a sexual relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. Okay. Well, and of course, Sean Diddy Combs was likely responsible for Kamala Harris being elected as VP by Joe Biden, selected as VP by Joe Biden, according to a March 2024 report by Fox News. Combs, a prolific supporter of Democrats, according to Murray's article, was one of 12 authors of a letter. And that's all there is on that. Wow. Fucking crazy. Crazy. Nuts. So there's a lot of shit behind this, man. He's hanging out with Hillary. I mean, there's I wonder if he just recorded like the wrong person or something. This is pretty. Do you guys know Trevor Moore? If you remember a few years back, there was a show called Kids in the Hall. And this guy, Trevor Moore, he's a comedian. He was on there. And he put out this video today. I'll probably show this later because this is crazy. This is so crazy. I wonder if I can, shit. I'll tell you what I'll do. We'll bookmark it. Yeah, because it's pretty crazy. It's a spoof on. Well, hell, I'll go ahead and show it. It's pretty funny. If I get a copyright, it's all right. I'll just cut it out. So if you're watching this later and there's a blank spot after this part right here, then that's what happened. Okay.
Can hear the girls all scream soon as our wheels touch down. Junkets in Tokyo, fashion shoots in Milan, then a private jet to Madison Square Garden. 36-week-long tours, 10 singles on the charts. So hear my message, girl, cause it comes from the heart. Help me, my parents sold me to a big producer in the record industry. He makes me do things that I don't want to do. Please call child services or maybe SVU.
So I'll put the link for that if you want to watch the rest of it. It's pretty good. My parents sold me. It's about almost 3-minute long video. It's funnier than hell. I'm going to put the link to it. It's on X. Let me copy this and put it down here. We're going to paste it in here because if you want to watch that, was that 10 years ago? Was that really that long ago? Holy shit. I just saw it today. It was the first time I ever saw it. But I mean, it's like, wow, that aged well, didn't it? It fucking aged well. So if anybody wants to check that out, please go ahead and do that. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to go over here I had to restart everything and I never did it reopen up on Rumble. So I want to see what's going on over there. I almost forgot, man. I gotta sign in. Because I had this awful problems going on with this freaking system. I don't know what the problem with it was, but it was really giving me a headache. Let me see now. I should be able to bring up my God. There I am. Dun, dun, dun. And we're there. We got 5 people watching over there. Do I got anybody in chat? You should have a pass and IQ test to be a guest on the show. Leo Slayer said, yeah, well, we see what happens with people. And if, sometimes they do good, sometimes they don't. And, we're not going to give people a rough time. A lot of times people have something important to say and sometimes they just don't, but willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I was talking about, what Putin said. And this is really crazy, man, because is this a tongue in cheek? It's not a turn of phrase. It can't be a turn of phrase. Listen carefully to what he says.
But the gist of it is different. The gist of it is that the so-called golden billion for centuries, for 500 years, they have practically lived off of other peoples. They were ripping apart these poor peoples, poor nations of Africa. They exploited Latin America. They exploited the countries of Asia. And of course, no one forgets this. And I have a feeling that it's not even about the leaders of these countries, even though it is a very important thing, but the common people of these countries. In their heart, they can feel what's happening. They can see our struggle for our independence, for our true sovereignty. And they see this connection with their aspirations to be truly independent, which is exacerbated by the fact that in the Western elites, there is a strong desire to freeze the current unfair state of things in international affairs. For centuries, they've been stuffing their stomachs with human flesh and they've been stuffing their pockets with money, but they must realize.
Did you hear that? Let me just go back just a little bit. Right here. Listen to this.
They've been stuffing their stomachs with human flesh, and they've been stuffing their pockets with money, but they must
Stuffing their stomachs with human flesh and stuffing their pockets with money.
realize that this ball of vampires is about to end.
This ball of vampires is about to end. Let me go back just right to there. All right. Well, listen to this whole phrase. This is crazy.
They've been stuffing their stomachs with human flesh, and they've been stuffing their pockets with money, but they must realize that this ball of vampires is about to end.
No, is that just like some kind of turn of phrase of this?
But the gist of it is
stuffing
different.
their stomachs with human flesh. That's because he wrote this here. For centuries, Western elites grew accustomed to filling their stomachs with human flesh, and they've been stuffing their pockets with money, but they must realize this ball of vampires is about to end. What you talking about, Mr. Willis? What you talking about, Mr. Drummond? What the hell is this guy talking about? You know, it's who knows, man. So yeah, some other shit too regarding this, and this is coming back to haunt Harris as the DA. Listen to this shit.
That could mean life in prison, and cases like this can depend on the testimony of the child accuser.
In general, the child will be able to recall and recollect with some detail the incident, and that is persuasive to a jury, even if it is the only testimony that is available.
Jackson gave a wave when he was released after booking. He's scheduled for arraignment in January.
Michael's been a long-time resident of Trump Tower, and last night the Donald strongly reiterated his defense of Jackson with Larry King by going after the accuser's mother.
She said, see, I forgot about this, man. I forgot about Michael Jackson living at Trump Tower, man. Shit is so whack, man.
Plenty of experience at going after people. And she goes after them viciously and violently. And I saw a story and I read another story about some of the things she's done. And I don't believe it.
But you know what it's like when an indictment comes down.
It's tough.
It's presumption.
It's tough. It's tough to win. But I have a feeling he's going to win, Larry. The interesting thing is I've known Michael from many different standpoints. And Michael would spend a lot of time with my kids. I have beautiful kids. And at the time, like at Mar-a-Lago, and even in Trump Tower, the kids were very young. Michael would come, play with the kids. He just loved children. He was not a child molester. And I am certain of that. He loved children. He'd play with my son Eric and my son Donald, and he'd just play with them forever. He loved children, but he was not a child molester. And, you know, that whole final saga of Neverland and the police and what they did was, I think, a very, very bad part of Michael's life.
So there's a Donald was defending this guy, and
that
it was,
could mean,
you know, she was actively working with Harris was working with the Santa Barbara police trying to destroy Janet Jackson's brother. And now Janet has come out and said, you know, wait a second, she's black, you know? No, she's not black. She's Indian. What are you talking about? That's crazy. That's crazy, man. This yeah, and of course Michael Jackson was he was vindicated on all charges, proven innocent. So that was all a bunch of shit. You can thank good old Kamala for that crap too. But through whose direction was she doing that? I don't know, man. She was a diddle and ditty at the time. Diddle diddy diddly diddy diddy did it, right? Why not? We can go with that. That fix it. Oh yeah, there, that's much better. That's much gooder. I fixed my camera. I'm the man. I didn't fix it, it just happened to work what I did. Was this the guy? Oh yeah, here's another guy. What time is it? Oh, okay. Story about being a bodyguard. Oh yeah, okay. So this guy was a bodyguard at one of these parties, man. And he said there's a lot of these Scientologists involved with this too. Let me put this up. See, there's all these little fucking cults, and the Scientology thing's right down there in LA, Hollywood. Scientology was founded, of course, by L. Ron Hubbard, who is also one of the founders of NASA. All this shit. It's like I'm gonna have one of those walls with all the string and pins and pictures and shit on it. I mean, good God, that's what's going on up in my brain right now. And look at there, of course, my signal's getting shitty, but that's okay. We're gonna go on.
Distinctly remember going to a Diddy party, all the waitresses topless. They serving you, everybody topless, you feel me? Like he got dancers in cages, people walking around with lions on tigers on leashes. I seen this with my own two eyes. See what I'm saying? And it was getting so weird in the party. I'm like, man, Bobby Valentino was the person I was bodyguarding there. You see what I'm saying? He tell me I didn't got so much pussy before. You know, pussy don't even really excite me. I'm like, well, what you mean? But he there. What you mean? On bro, post grave. I said, what you mean? So he got 2 girls with him. So I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, hold on. These might not be normal girls.
Uh-oh.
Sure enough. Now he say, man, take my girl to the bathroom. Like, okay. We walk into the bathroom. You feel me? She go into the men's bathroom. But that's not all the way crazy because it's one bathroom packed, you feel me? People might do that. You know what I'm saying? So people start swarming the door. So I step inside the bathroom door. She's standing at the urinal. Dress lifted up. I'm like, damn. Okay, that's how they coming? But here another thing though, like I bodyguarded this guy who was a pimp before, and he.
So let me get this straight, man. So he goes in his bathroom where his friend went and took his girl to, and it's the men's room. And he goes ahead, goes inside, and it's a dude wearing a dress standing up to a urinal. What the man? See, why do people want to even do that weird shit, man?
Told me, he said, look, if a man have too much of one thing, he start trying other things. So as soon as I heard that, I went celibate for like 2 years. And in the music industry, you see a lot of things that's evil. And they'll tell you crazy because you don't agree with it. I seen this.
What was your actual interactions with Diddy like?
So my interactions with him was this. He had an appearance at this club called The Vibe in Chicago on Kingsbury when it was open. I was head of security at this club. So after that club closed, after the night was over, he have an after party. So the manager of the club said, I need you to come with me to the after party. So me and my other homie, we go to the after party. When we get to the after party, bro, like it was a lot of females in there who stand up when they use the bathroom. You see what I'm saying? So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, like this kind of wild on, bro. Like, this how y'all coming. If this how y'all live, that's how y'all live. But they want to keep it a secret. He real touchy-feely too. Like he grabbed this other guy, know by his neck, grabbed him by his neck and was like, do you have love in your heart, young man? You want to be a roach? Or you want to walk with God? I'm looking like, you gonna let him grab you like that? But then, you know, he be on some tough guy shit too. So I guess he a tough cake toucher.
Did you see?
So, you know, like they'll have a dude come out with the paper, sign an NDA. No, I'm going to the car, bro. I'm good.
He's not gonna sign an NDA. He's like, no, I'm sorry. But if I have to watch his shit and I can't talk about it, there ain't no fucking way that's gonna happen, bro. There's no way.
I'm not signing no NDA. I'm going to the car. I'm good. Seeing that, bro. So seeing all this coming to news, people was telling me I was crazy. Said I was a hater. hey, you know what? I don't want to party with the girls with the third leg, man. I'm good.
What do you think about them accusing Diddy of having cameras in his house so he could record celebrities and politicians and use it as blackmail?
So I firmly believe that's true because in that sector of people, a lot of them practice Scientology. And Scientology, that was their thing. They would get people in compromising positions. They'll hold that footage over their head and get them to agree to things. So like, you know what, if you see somebody with the chain on, with that little vial of blood on their neck, well, they a Scientologist, bro. So it's definitely gonna be footage of them somewhere doing some compromising. That's how a lot of these agreements get made. People get endorsed. How they get that deal out of nowhere? Distinctly remember.
It truly is about the Benjamin, as we see.
Oh yes, he's glittering.
It truly is about the Benjamin.
Well, now when we come back, we're gonna talk more with Puffy, and if you want to hang out, more than welcome to stick around, my brother. All right, we'll be right back with more right after this.
It truly is about the Benjamin, as we see.
Oh yes, he's glittering.
It truly is about the Benjamin.
Well, now when we
Man, I was muted. I was muted. What a fucking joke. We got none of this surprises me, man. And then he's like got his hand on it, trying to touch his leg and shit. And the dude's like, you know, oh, get your hand off my leg. That's Tyson. He's lucky he didn't get his ass kicked. That was funny. But I already knew about there was this gay shit in the rap and music industry where there was a lot of this going on. I'd heard about that shit years back. People had come out. Who was that one? Is it KRS-One? I think talked about it. I think that's who it was. And you know, that was a few years back, man. And here now it's all coming to light, man. These guys, that's how they get ahead. That's how they get them in a compromised position. And I think it's also something about it's kind of satanic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Nikki, I'm back. Hopefully you guys can hear me now, right? Yeah, everything good. Melodome, what's up? Crunchy Bees here. Everybody making it. Holy shit. So yeah, I mean, they do these kind of things all the way in. So like even, and like I said, man, it's these kinds of little honeypot operations and whatnot. They're run on politicians all the time. Perhaps you remember an incident. What is Bill Clinton known for the most? What is he known for in his presidency the most? Okay. And this will explain, if you remember when they went into Epstein's house, there's that pretty well famous picture now that you see a painting, like a portrait of Bill Clinton wearing a blue dress, right? And we all know the blue dress was to do with the Monica Lewinsky thing. Well, there was, I've said this for a long time, there was way more to that than, you know, just some starstruck intern that was wanting to blow the president or whatever, you know. That story, that dog didn't hunt with me. And what is this guy, Ian Carroll? I don't know if you're familiar with him. I've seen him on different platforms. He's going to be this guy over here on the right. But he puts this is great explanation. And if you, this will tie some shit to you. KRS-One did a song with Sick of It All. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he actually was outspoken about it as well. That's what I thought was interesting. But this will start to make sense. Check this out. Also, Bill Clinton's ties to Epstein, you know, the whole thing. It'll start to come together. Listen.
Most people that I know that are in your camp are also Trump supporters. And Trump is he's
atrocious on Israel.
I would say he's
From my
pro-Israel.
Yeah.
Atrocious isn't necessarily the word I would use.
As is Biden and Kamala. Like, don't you think it's kind of weird that all the powerful parties, that AIPAC has bought 93 out of 100 of our senators their seats, and 3 of the other 6 are already pro-Zionist? Like, why do they have to do that if Israel's stance is so defensible? Why do they have to buy all these people their seats in order to make sure that everyone is pro-Israel? Why do they have to have a literal child sex trafficking ring that is targeting the president of the United States, Prince Andrew, celebrities all throughout Hollywood and everywhere else? Why do they have to have Jeffrey Epstein sex, blackmail, trafficking kids on behalf of Mossad?
I mean, we're jumping to some conclusions here.
No, we're not.
I think
that is like pretty close to like the amount of depth of factual evidence. A, that Jeffrey Epstein was Mossad, and B, that he was running a sexual blackmail operation. Like, I've got books and books on that. I could go on that for hours. Straight up to like Monica Lewinsky. You remember Monica Lewinsky? This is a good example of one that surprised a lot of people. Monica Lewinsky was Jewish, right? And so it sounds like, oh my God, fucking Jewish conspiracy, right? Monica Lewinsky, so Bill Clinton was Jeffrey Epstein's, one of his primary targets was Bill Clinton. Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House 17 times during Bill Clinton's presidency. They were very close. He helped set up the Clinton Global Initiative. Clinton was clearly like, he's been accused directly by Virginia Giuffre, went to the island on a plane. And then during Bill Clinton's presidency, when Jonathan Pollard was an Israeli spy that they wanted us to release, and the Oslo Accords were getting signed, which is a critical peace deal about where the borders were going to be, suddenly this Jewish woman, this scandal about this sexual thing with this Jewish woman with Bill Clinton just gets leaked to the press. She's been giving him blowjobs and having phone sex with him, right? That is the exact kind of thing you would see if a Mossad sexual blackmail operation were to fire a warning shot. It's like, yo, we've got all sorts of stuff on you. We got way more than this. And here's one. Boom, Monica Lewinsky. And she just happens to be Jewish. And it's like, that's kind of a coincidence. You can't infer that Monica Lewinsky was part of the Jeffrey Epstein thing just because she's Jewish. Like, you're right. You can.
But you look at the amount of the timing of when Epstein was there at the White House while Clinton was president, the timing of that, the Oslo Accords, as well as all of it fits in that spy transfer. Okay, that concerning Pollard, it's all connected. You understand? It is all connected.
Not. But then when you start to look into it, you realize that you can find reporting from Israeli publications about how Benjamin Netanyahu just happened to have like 30 hours of phone tape recordings of them talking, of Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton having phone sex, and he threatened Bill Clinton. He tried to blackmail Bill Clinton with those recordings in order to get him to release Jonathan Pollard. And he still didn't do it because it was super like not popular in America. But it's like, that is clearly a Jeffrey Epstein operation, Monica Lewinsky. Like, clearly Mossad and Israel are blackmailing the president of the United States with a child sex trafficking ring.
What would be their motive? What do you think he was going to do that they wanted to stop? If it is indeed Mossad intentionally targeting
Jonathan Pollard. He wasn't extraditing Jonathan Pollard, and Jonathan Pollard is one of the most egregious leaks in American intelligence history. Jonathan Pollard was a deep cover spy for Israel, deep in the American government. It had all kinds of leaks, had given all kinds of secrets, military secrets and such, to Israel. Like, Israel has been spying on us, stealing from us, and attacking us for a very long time. They stole nuclear weapons from us. Israel has a nuclear program that they have never announced to the world, that they built in secret with stolen technology from the United States, and they did a weird deal with France. And then John F. Kennedy was like, fuck these guys, you're not allowed to have this, I want to inspect it. And he was pushing for inspections of it when he died. And to this day, Israel has nukes that are officially, they don't exist, but the whole world knows they exist. And they have not signed the treaties that everyone else has signed, because they should, right? And they have an official doctrine that is the unofficial official doctrine called the Samson option, that if Israel starts to fail and die, if we don't defend them, it's like, if y'all don't help us survive, we will nuke everyone. That is like their...
Yeah, they're like the ultimate suicide bombing, right? If we start to fall, we're taking everybody out. That's a hell of a threat. It really is. And then that kind of like gives them the idea they can just do whatever they want, you know?
Policy. That is their nuclear policy. And everybody knows...
What does everyone mean? Everyone attacking them? They're not
allies.
They're not going to nuke America.
It is...
Come on.
Look it up. Look it up.
Oh, well, I'm definitely going to look that. I don't believe that one. I'm going to look that one
Look up. This is not just like some made-up conspiracy theory. John F. Kennedy, the president of the United States, was pushing for inspections of Israel's nuclear facilities, and they set up an entirely fake facility with a fake control room and brought the nuclear inspectors into a fake control room. And JFK famously said, quote, "These motherfuckers lie to me constantly."
Whoa. Wanting to attack the banks too, and that whole thing. Wow. Yeah, well, but you see how that's tied. You see how that's tied in. Now, what are they doing with the ones in the Hollywood, right? Same thing, because we've got these same players all hanging out with this other guy, the same other guy, right? Same shit. Just as many photographs and video of these same people that were hanging around with Epstein, hanging around with Diddy as well, man. So what's up, right? Yeah, that's a fucked up situation. So there's a lot of course, we're seeing a lot of shit going on right now with this damned selection and all the controversy going on around that. We got people that are going to like completely lose their mind if Trump wins, and people are going to completely lose their mind if Harris wins. I think it's a lose-lose proposition at this point. I don't really go with this guy a whole lot. His name's Sam Tripoli, but this was put out by Juanita Broaddrick. Do you guys remember who Juanita Broaddrick was or is? She was supposedly raped by Bill Clinton, but this is from her Twitter feed. Let me see if I can bring this up full. There we go.
Wins. They will move to disqualify him through Congress, invoke civil war conditions, and tell the Trump hordes that Donald Trump is disqualified and not allowed to be president.
So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody and civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And I'm glad that Sherilyn's creating her new center so we can bring that back to life, even as we're continuing to amend the Constitution, as Professor Hassan has invited us to do.
What a wild thing to say to a group of people so casually, that we will need bodyguards for everyone, civil war conditions. What he is saying that if Donald Trump wins on January 6th, they must stop him from taking office.
Wow. And that was Raskin, that guy that was saying that. Again,
Donald Trump wins.
Again, dual citizenship. Jamie Raskin. Yeah, that's his name. Dual citizen. I don't know how you can do that. I don't know how how's that legal? They want it, and they want to invoke 14th Amendment to stop. It's all a big dog and pony show. Used to play a poker game called Tripoli. Is it Triple E with a Y or Triple E with an I, like the city in where's that? Lebanon, Tripoli, Lebanon. Oh yeah, let me see what we got going on. Yeah. Okay, so part of this, what I was talking about, is this veil is lifting. People are starting to understand, and the thing that's getting to me, who said it's all a show with politics? It is, Mike. It is part of a bigger show, which is a spell that has captivated so many people's minds. This hypnotic spell that seems to be wearing off. The veil getting thinner. The information, although being a double-edged sword, those with discernment being able to weed out, separate the wheat from the chaff, to be able to, figure out what's valuable and what isn't. People coming to a new vibration, hopefully. I'm seeing good evidence of that, real good evidence of it. I'm seeing a lot of people don't succumb to the negative aspect of it. So many people are, oh my God, the end is near. No, the beginning is near. Okay, let's look at it in reality. But I thought this was pretty good. Said we were living through a battle against Satan, who is the prince of this world. And there again, that's not a name, it's a title, the Shaitan, the nemesis, the dark one, the enemy. So this is pretty cool.
Let's tell you a bit about the devil first, so that you've got a clear picture in your mind of what we're praying against. First of all, the Bible does not paint him as a horned creature with a forked tail. That's the sort of thing that makes us laugh at him, take him less than seriously. See, the Bible says he's a real person. The Bible never calls the devil it, always he. Next, the Bible says that he has a heart and a mind and a will. And if a heart and a mind and a will don't make a personality, I don't know what does. It talks about the devil's feelings, talks about his thoughts, and it talks about his motives. And that means to me a person. So the devil is not just a kind of vague word to sum up all the forces of evil in the world. No, he is a person in his own right. And if there were no human beings at all, Satan would still exist. Now, Jesus himself took Satan desperately seriously. He never made a joke about him. He never laughed at him. He never caricatured him. Here are some of the titles that Jesus gave Satan. He said he is the prince of this world.
Aha! What does that mean? Come on.
When Satan offered Jesus all the kingdoms of the world, Jesus did not say they are not yours to give, because he knew perfectly well they were Satan's to give. And it is a horrible thought, if you really realize it, that the world in which we live is ruled over by Satan.
Yeah, I mean, how could you give somebody something that you don't possess? That's a good point. It's kind of a, hey there.
He is the prince of this world. But let's take it a step further. Do you know that another title Jesus gave to Satan? He said he's not only the ruler or prince of this world, he is the God of this world. The only other person beside his heavenly Father to whom Jesus ever applied the word God was Satan. He said, my heavenly Father is God of everything. But of this world, Satan is God, which means very simply not only that Satan controls this world and is able to manipulate science and education and politics for his own ends. More than that, Satan is actually the real God whom most people on earth worship, whether they know it or not. That behind so much religion, behind so much activity, Satan is the one who's being worshipped. He's the person. And even by some who go to church and chapel on Sunday, in reality, he's their God. For they worship the things that he offers them. They want the things of the world that he belongs to and rules over, rather than setting their mind on the things that are above where Jesus is. And if you want this world, and if you want the things of this world, then I give you a piece of advice. Make Satan your God. If you want this world, he's a wonderful God to have because he'll give it to you. There's always a price to pay. When the bill comes in, you may not be quite so happy, but he'll give it to you. He can give you money, he can give you fame, he can give you anything you want. Because it's his to give. Where have you been, Satan, says God in the book of Job? Well, I've been patrolling the earth, I've been looking around my estate. And he had. Now let's get this clear. That doesn't mean that God is helpless in this world. It does mean, and we've got to think this through, that God is allowing Satan to be prince of this world and God of this world. He's allowed it. And people say, what does God think he's doing allowing that? Well, I would just say my only answer to that one is, what's he doing allowing you to be like you are? Why should you blame him for allowing Satan to rebel when he allowed you to? The answer is very simple. He's a father and he will not force any of his creatures to go his way. And he gives you freedom to rebel. And we can't grumble about him giving the angels freedom, though they have superior intelligence and strength, because he gave us the same freedom and we've used it in the wrong way. Do you know there are 2 books in the Bible that the devil hates more than any other 2 books in the Bible? Out of all 66, there are 2 that say more about him than any others, and it's these that he has attacked more than any others. They are the one at the beginning and the one at the end, Genesis and Revelation. And you know why he hates them? Because Genesis describes his devices and Revelation describes his doom. And he hates those 2 books. And there has been more scholarly attack on the book of Genesis than any other book, and more attempt to turn it into myth and legend and away from fact than any other book in the Bible. Why? Because Satan doesn't want you to believe that Genesis 3 ever happened. He doesn't want you to know how he got hold of Eve. He doesn't want you to believe that he said what he did to that first married couple. And he attacks the book of Genesis. But the other book which he hates more than any other is the book of Revelation. Because as you read through that book, you come to a point where it says that the devil himself will be cast into the lake of fire. Do you know that Jesus told us to pray every day about the devil? Do you know that? The original prayer that he taught his disciples when they said, Lord, teach us to pray. He said, pray like this. Say, Dad in heaven. Then pray for the things he wants. His name, his will, his kingdom. Then he said, pray for the things you need. You need food, you need forgiveness. Then he said, finish by praying this. Deliver us from the evil one. We've turned evil into a thing in our thinking. It's not a thing, it's a person. There's no evil anywhere in the universe apart from persons. Evil is an intensely personal thing. There's no love in the universe apart from persons who love. And so evil is personal. And Jesus said, pray daily, deliver us from the evil one. Start your prayer by thinking of your dad in heaven, but end your prayer by thinking of the devil on earth and go out to face him.
Because everywhere too, man.
Let's tell you a bit about,
as we're seeing in recent events. So here's another thing too, is like the illogical shit. Like I was thinking about, like with cops when they go to pull somebody over, right? So the cop comes over and, what did you pull me over for? Well, you were speeding and that's unsafe. And you got to think to yourself, wait a minute, man. You mean you just did a U-turn in the middle of traffic, turned on noisy siren and distracting lights and drove in, weaving through traffic at a high rate of speed to pull me over onto the side of the road, mere inches from traffic that's going by, to tell me that I was being unsafe. Now, another thing, too, is once you've got a license plate and a car is speeding away, you have radios. You don't have to chase them. Okay? Sure, pursue them, but be reasonable. You've already got their plate, make and model, everything. It's already on your cameras, everything else, right? But no, these yahoos can't wait to just be reckless. Now, listen, several times we have seen, and just here in this little area where I live, cops flying down the road without there even being an emergency and injuring and or killing people that are pulling out into the road or something else. We just saw one here the other day where this cop car he coming down the road, no lights, no sirens, just whipping ass down the road. Car comes to pull out. This cop car goes to missing, goes careening through a parking lot, ass ends one car, narrowly misses a guy on foot, and smashes sideways into another car. It's insane. But this is nuts right here. Watch this. This is crazy. 98 miles an hour, 101. It's around 100 miles an hour. Watch it. Go ahead and start EMS, I'd imagine. Holy shit. Look at that. I mean, is there any reason for that? Watch this. Like, let him go. Radio ahead. Tell him what you've got going on. Pick him up somewhere. Look at this fool. He don't care about nobody. See, it's bad enough you got that guy in the truck that don't give a shit about the people on the road, right? But that dude, Gwag says he knows exactly where that is. But I mean, holy crap. What are you doing, man? That was for a traffic violation. Wow. Yeah, I'd imagine. Jesus. I mean, thank God nobody else was hopefully injured in this, but over a traffic violation. What the hell? And don't look at they're running over to the cop car, not over to the car that they ran off the road and caused to flip. They're going over here. Wow. Just fucking wow. I can't get over that. I thought this was funny. This is pretty cute. I just gotta show this real quick. Donald Trump was sent here by God. Look at it's smoking crack. And I'm like, yeah, you gotta be. Listen, just because he's up against a retard doesn't make him brilliant. You know what I'm saying? Wow. The guy died. Gwag says the guy died. No shit. The cop or the guy in the truck? Man, that's fucked up. Here's a quote by Barack Obama. I ran across. He said, "The American dream is to be Donald Trump." He said that back in 1991. Wow. It didn't age well, Barack. It didn't age well. The guy died. What he says is, the guy in the truck died. Wow. Jeez, that's insane, you know. God. They all have to answer to God, Lisa says. You're absolutely right, Lisa. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, back off, let the truck slow down, radio ahead. You know, hey, we got this guy. He ran from us. This is a black, it looked like a GMC pickup truck. It's license plate number, bam. And that's already in your LPR. You could just flag that data. They'll pick him up any place. I mean, come on. Let him think he got away and then just pick him up when he calms down, right? There's no need to endanger all those people down the highway. And you know, the guy's dead now. Like, oh, you shouldn't have run. Well, why were they pulling him over in the first place? Let's get real. I was hoping maybe Flatzoid, he's in South Africa, and they had this massive snowfall, I guess, in South Africa. I wanted to ask him about that. I'll have to remember to ask him tomorrow if he's on a show. Let me see if I had any. Yeah, that's that guy. That's a dash cam. That's unreal. Just unreal that they. Oh yeah, I can't show that on here because they'll get angry. So I guess there was another hazmat problem in Ohio. A rail car streaming out. Some kid had to evacuate the area. This was kind of interesting too. This is part of a documentary on the Rothschilds. This is you might find this interesting. I did.
Is the Rothschild estate. Behind me is the Temple of Apollo on the Rothschild estate.
The Temple of Apollo, Apollyon, right? Does any wonder what these people are into? Man, come on.
The Rothschilds control the currency, not only of the Bank of England, but the currency of the United States of America. And what do they do with all of this money? They buy the politicians. See, a politician is like a prostitute. They will give way to the highest bidder. Are the members of Parliament and the Congress of the United States beholden to the people? Well, they don't think so. Because it's the big money, the banksters who buy them off. They do their bidding. Is Obama the bankster's boy? Is Blair and Brown? Yes, they've done their bidding.
Well, and we just found out too that how much both sides are funded by AIPAC. Is it starting to click together, people? Is it clicking together?
The Treaty of Lisbon, the Constitution of Europe. Has Britain surrendered its constitution, or what they say is national law, securing national sovereignty to the banksters? Absolutely. Did the people have a vote on it? Absolutely not. I mean, does the Temple of Apollo have anything to do with the rituals that these people engage in to bring them this power? Is their power granted by their lord, Lucifer? They talk about Lucifer being God. And the initiates of the higher order of the Masonic religion following the Luciferian doctrine. Now, it's rumored that some of the people who go to this pyramidal area where they have rituals being of royalty and rock stars. Do they actually come together, that group of people with money and power and influence? And maybe how does the rock stars get to be so famous? Are they bought into positions of fame? Do they surrender their soul to give them power, prestige, and a free entree to the bedrooms and brothels throughout Britain? We have people that have been hiding in the woods and having seen such things. But do I know that for certain? Not really. But then why would members of the family of Rothschilds be wearing these dark robes and walking out towards the pyramid?
What the fuck, man? So they wear these dark robes and go out to this temple of Apollo? What? These people are weird, man.
We're going to take a look at the pyramid. We see the sheep, but I'm so much concerned about the sheeple. Those are the ones who simply follow the leader. They're almost like lemmings in a sense. They walk out to the cliffs following their leaders and jump into the sea of socialism. Oh, these people here, they support the socialist agenda, but are they socialists? No. See, communism is not a creation of the masses to overthrow the banking establishment.
This is really important too, man, because you're told that. That's the way they push it, right? Yeah, like the Bohemian Grove. What was it? Somebody said casting a ballot. Yeah, you cast your ballot. Casting, like casting a spell. The sheeple are sheeple because they get, where'd it go? There it is. Because they get the free NPC life. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier today about the, like this, just these like NPC types that are, like seat fillers. Like a lot of times at the Academy Awards, they hire people. Are there rudiments for guitar? I do half hour of drum rudiments every day, and they're so boring. I'm not really sure what you mean by rudiments. I mean, like scales. Yeah, there are. I don't practice them. I just pick it up and start playing. That's where was I at? It don't matter. I only get to share the firmament link Dave played a few months back. What? No, the firmament link. I would imagine rudiments for guitar are called. Yeah, scales. Yeah, scales. Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's different scales that you practice on there, pentatonic scales and things like that. I don't know. I'm strange. I just I don't know. I don't really practice scales. I just like I'll come up with like some kind of a progression in my head, and I'll just go with it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Words are weapons. They can be. Turn them around. Put the S in front of the W at the end of words, and you have a sword. Whoa, interesting.
It's the creation of the banking establishment to overthrow and enslave the masses. The leadership of communism or communism isn't really run from Moscow, Beijing, Hanoi, or Havana. It's always been run from London, New York, and Washington, D.C.
That's right. The Russian Revolution, Red October, was fomented and funded out of Brooklyn, New York. Right? All these people that went over, these dissidents, Trotsky, they came right over from Brooklyn. It's not a secret, man.
It's not a movement of the poor, it's a movement of the rich. See, what the government gives, it must first take away. And what it takes away, it must take away with force, a threat of force, or violence, a threat of violence. And they pretend to be doing something for the people when they give you the Second Amendment of the Communist Manifesto. It's the 16th Amendment of the United States of America, the graduated income tax. They fleece the flock. They shear the sheep. They gather in the money. They take in all of the gold and all of the silver and all of the copper. And they leave us squat. The people don't know it. The people think they're getting something for nothing. They're going to take from the rich and give to the poor. These sheep are like so many of you who don't recognize that you're being sheared, that don't recognize what is before your very eyes. Kubrick, in his film Eyes Wide Shut, or is it Eyes Wide Open? We must open our eyes. We must reach out and do that which has never been done before. I'm so concerned about the once great Britain, with the people, the sheeple here, just going along with the surrender of the national sovereignty, going along with the enslavement, going on with those things which are intolerable. When you accept the intolerable, you wake up in the morning in a nation that is slave. This is Anthony J. Hilder. This is the 11th of November, 2009. On the Rothschild.
See, that was a while back. 2009. 2009.
Is the Rothschild.
Interesting. Interesting. Oh yeah, here's that cop car. Brian Young, he did a thing on it, and I reposted it, his video on, and I said, you know, we've had reckless cops hit and kill a few people in my area of Virginia as well, and it's pretty rural where I'm at. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the last one was right on Highway 211, and it was a pretty well-known couple from the area, just going to go to the store or something, and they went to pull out on the highway, and wham, here come this guy. He was going way faster, state trooper. And there again, it's like, you know, I understand there's adrenaline. You know, you pull over people. The whole reason you pull people over for speeding is because you say that that's an unsafe practice and it puts other people at risk, right? That's their justification for it. Why is it okay for you to put people at risk, especially when there's no reason? But this was Brian Young. He showed this, and I'm just going to show enough of it about the car, what it does. This is freaking insane, man.
Everybody in this convenience store parking lot while speeding down the road without lights and sirens.
This car comes down this road. It hits the back end of this car here and then comes careening through here, right through here. This is crazy.
Check this out.
Look at that shit.
Now we're going to see a different view of this truck right here.
here.
We're going to watch the owner of this truck try to get into his truck and how he narrowly escaped with his life. And we're going to see that. Here we go right here. Watch this. The first police car, no lights, no sirens. Check that out. Speeding down the road. The second guy's going to come. This guy's going to pull out after having come to a complete stop at this stop sign right here. The second cop is going to come up, veer off, hit that truck, narrowly miss that guy. no lights, no
But
sirens.
this guy
and a
right here
supposed
shit his pants.
emergency call. Here's another angle. First cop car, no
What's
lights
that
and
shit?
sirens.
He
Second cop
just
car
narrowly
loses
he could've-
control. Unbelievable.
You can see the crash unfold outside the Gold Mine General Store in Catawba County. Surveillance video clearly shows the moment the deputy lost control of his SUV while trying to avoid a pickup truck pulling out from the Dollar General across the street. Elmer Evans heard about the crash and watched the video of that deputy strike 3 parked cars while narrowly missing a customer.
He done all he can do to keep from, in my opinion, to keep from killing anybody. But the other car pulled out in front of him. It was, in my opinion, it's not his fault.
A viewer shared these photos of the damage to the deputy.
Whoa. Holy sheep shit, man. That's the sheriff's vehicle. Look at that. And did you see the bed of that guy's pickup truck was like non-existent anymore? No, he won't, Jeebus. He won't be held accountable for it. You know better. You know better. We've investigated and found that we were doing nothing wrong.
His SUV.
Well, he probably pulled out in front of him because he didn't hear any sirens and he didn't see any lights. The whole reason for the lights and sirens is to alert everybody else in the area, hey, you better watch out on the road. We're coming through and we're on an emergency.
This says he was responding to a 911 hang-up call and that it's always up to a deputy and his or her supervisor whether to activate blue lights and sirens.
At least
That the rest of the bed of that truck was smashed up to the back wheels, it looked like.
20 times.
Amanda Wright's family has property right across the street. She says her mailbox has been knocked down.
Is that at 210, 211? Let me go back just a little bit. Let me show you something. Yeah, it looks like this gets mashed up hard against them wheels.
And he struck 3 parked cars while narrowly missing a customer.
He done all he can do to keep from.
When that guy went back
You're
out
off.
to get in
Hit
there,
that truck, narrowly missed that guy.
when he went to go
No
get back
lights,
into that truck,
no lights, no lights.
Yeah,
Now we're going to see
look
a
at-
different
right,
view
right.
of this.
See what I'm saying? It's all smashed all the way up to the back of the tires right there. That's heinous, man. Where was we at? 210. Some of these people that they interview, man, they kind of crack me up.
She says her mailbox has been knocked down more than a dozen times by wrecks along the busy road. She believes
Look at this
deputies
guy.
should use their blue lights if they're traveling well above the 45-mile-per-hour posted speed limit here. At the intersection today, we spotted first responders doing just that while heading to calls.
You need to go that fast. You need to at least have sirens, lights, something to show everybody around you what's happening.
Yeah, it's kind of like common sense. And without cops, who would think that they have the right to slash your tires?
But see, that's the whole thing right there. And that's what I was getting at is those cops that get flying through down the road and shit. And they got to put everybody in fucking danger for no reason, you know, for something stupid like that. Like that pickup truck that they rolled over what, registration or speeding or improper turn, didn't use a signal. What? Just fucking ridiculous, man. Totally ridiculous. So, well, I don't think I have a whole lot more tonight. Just was doing our normal Tuesday night show. I think that's all I'm going to do here for tonight. I'm getting a little bit tired. I want to go in here and relax in the front room. And unless anybody's got Chili DeCastro just blocked me from his channel for telling people they could copy his trifold down under their own paper. That's classic Jeeves. People still doing that trifold thing? Jesus Christ. Welcome, Maria. All right, guys. Listen, I'm going to call it a night. Be sure and join us tomorrow. Damn it, vape got me hard. Wow. What do you put in that shit? Shoot. Anyway, so we'll see. Yeah, go on over to Ironworks, man. I'm gonna call it a night myself. And we'll see you next time here. Tomorrow on Jeranism channel, we've got the Reefer Roulette. So 7:20 Eastern, 4:20 Pacific. And we'll see you over there. Oh, damn. That vape stung me hard. Damn. Wow. Fish sticks, rubbers, and a getaway car. That's all I need, right? Whoa. Cool to go. All right, guys. So anybody going over to Ironworks, go on over to Ironworks. Check him out. He's got a great show going on over there right now. And just remember, Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey, and see your doctor and get rid of his ass. I'll kill you. See you next time.